Hello, I'm Christiane Piano, and welcome to your Reset Reflections. This week's reflection is about pasta al pomodoro. Now, you may be confused by that, asking yourself, what in the world does food have to do with the growth process? Well, the cool thing about life is that anyone and anything can contribute to a growth process, including food. And the reason I've chosen to speak to this is because I'm in conversation with many people around what they are doing to support themselves in their lives. And a common thread across the board is many people stop their learning process pretty unconsciously, because it's all they're aware of, with rational understanding. Now, when you are learning something new, the first step, and it's a fundamental step, is understanding rationally, no matter what the context is, no matter what the material. But I would imagine you have come across people in your life that don't have the degree, they don't have the certificate, but they have a deep understanding of life that they have sourced through the experiential. Now, there's nothing wrong with getting multiple degrees. There's nothing wrong with studying and reading books. I love reading personally, and I've done my share of obtaining degrees. And it's enriching, and it's wonderful, and it's fantastic. But I also have learned that the learning process, the growth process, is not only supported through the rational, because what's available within the rational is limited. The next step after understanding something rational is moving into the experiential. It could be even associated to the term embodied learning. You begin to embody what you have understood and learned rationally. And this occurs through the domain of the experiential. When I refer to the growth process, I'm referring to having the experience of transcendence of self. It's like living life fully aware that who I think I am, who I think others are, the way I think life is, well, it's limiting. It gets boxy. And there's a whole sorts of reasons why this unfolds, but growth leads to outgrowth. When you grow, you outgrow, and it's a natural process. So the question to ask yourself is, where am I allowing for growth? Where am I purposely stopping myself from growing? And unconsciously, how am I stopping myself from growing? What roles am I stuck in? What relationships do I feel stuck in? What area of my life regarding my relationship to myself do I feel stuck in? Stuckness comes from the experience of being aware on some basic level that there's a pattern that continues to repeat itself, and my relationship to that pattern is I'm not really liking the results of the pattern, but I feel stuck. I feel like I can't get out of it for all the innumerable lists that the rational mind will create to keep you exactly where you are. Because in a way, you, whether you like it or not, find some comfort in it because it's safe, because you know it. It's familiar. But when you grow, you outgrow patterns. You outgrow thoughts, emotions, physical sensations, jobs, roles, relationships, certain fashion, expressions. I mean, the list is long. But it's natural. Do you give yourself permission to be surrounded by people and place yourself in environments that support your growth process? Or need to keep you stuck, need to keep you molded and in place? So here I come to pastel pomodoro. I think it's essential in the learning process to have a context to begin to explore the concept of rational versus experiential. And the choice of today is pastel pomodoro. So for this example to work, we're going to go back in time when we would all go to restaurants and we would be given a menu made of paper. When you sit down at a restaurant and you're given a menu, you read the menu, and you come across a dish that's described, and your taste buds begin to flow, hopefully, and you decide, this is what I'm going to order today. So you have an understanding of what's written on the menu, but you don't go and eat the menu, right? I mean, we really don't think about these things, but in reality, you understand what you've read, and in the description, there's something that you're drawn to. So say today you decide, I'm going to order pastel pomodoro. You place your order, you wait for the dish, and then you're served the dish. And hopefully your senses get perked as you smell the lovely flavors that are releasing beneath your nose. It's appealing to your eyes. Take your fork, put it in the pasta, and you place the food into your mouth. And hopefully your taste buds explode, domino effect of experience, and it just exceeds your expectations of what you rationally understood that was described on the menu. I mean, we don't talk about it like this, but you get my point. You have a rational understanding of what the pastel pomodoro will be, and then you have the experience of the pastel pomodoro as you place the pasta in your mouth and chew and swallow. We do this all the time. We have a rational understanding of things, then we have the experience. And when the experience exceeds or at least matches our expectations that we have in our mind, then it's a hit, it's a go. Continue to go back to it or invite friends to join us in it, tell people about it. And if it doesn't match up, yeah, we probably won't go back. And we're disappointed. So if we take this rational understanding to the experiential and we move from pastel pomodoro, let's take this to the riverbank. Say you're an expert on rivers, flow of water, temperature, obstacles in the way. You can be an expert on the river. You can be an expert in talking about the river. But have you ever experienced the river? Will you dip your toe in the water and begin to experience the temperature for yourself? Will you eventually put 2 feet in and stand in the river momentarily before going back onto the riverbank? Will you take your life to the next level and actually immerse yourself in the river and begin to navigate and explore experientially all of that incredible information you have acquired in your notebooks, understood and spoke to? And this is a game changer. When you take your life from a rational understanding level into the experiential and embody your learning, it's transcending. How do you go about doing that? Well, there's many ways, and each person needs to find what works best for them. But my hope is that for you, after listening to this reflection, that you begin to distinguish for yourself, where am I in my learning process? Do I stop with the rational? Or do I seek out experiences that will support me in exploring what I've understood? In your reset as a service, what I speak to here in the reflections, I then create experiences for people to then explore for themselves experientially and learn on an embodied level. One isn't better than the other. So what is available is just different. And I share this because I find for many people, they're looking to deepen their experience of life, to enrich themselves, to break out of the habits, to break out of the patterns. When you get to the root of the patterns, the pattern will naturally dissolve on its own. How many times have you fully understood why you do certain things, but don't seem to be able to ever break out of the habit? Well, because you've taken the first courageous step. You've understood the why. The next step is getting to the root, and that's definitely moving into the experiential. So wherever you are, whatever you're exploring, my hope for you is that you give yourself permission to grow, develop, and explore for as long as you're alive. May you savor every experience. As you don't live in isolation, and your own growth and development impacts each person you come into contact with. And you never know who you share your life experience with, how that will impact them. Never stop exploring. Never stop growing. Enjoy this one unique, beautiful life.